Hi, I'm Daz. I'm the producer of The Drift, and I'm about to disappear off for a couple of weeks to go and earn some mortgage money. Joy. But I thought it'd be a good idea to do a quick diary before I disappeared off to sort of reflect on the last sort of couple of weeks or so. The trailer's been out now for about 2.5 weeks, nearly 3 weeks, and we've had over 2,100 hits, which is fantastic. If you look at our other stuff in the past, I mean, our Star Wars fan films and that get a much higher hit rate because obviously it's Star Wars, but our other sort of original stuff, Cinders and a few other bits and bobs, generally attract around about sort of 400 or 500 hits over quite a long period of time. Even the teaser trailer for The Drift has got around about sort of 1,700 hits over the course of a year. So to get over 2,000 hits in such a short period of time without any marketing at all, is really great, and it just shows the support we're getting for independent film, all that type of thing. People are sharing, and we're obviously sharing their stuff as well. And there's obviously a really big community out there who is very much in support of independent film and what we're up to. So that's been really, really great. In terms of the visual effects at the moment, we've turned a really positive corner. Lots of corners in this movie. I suppose because it's all made out of corridors, I suppose. Anyway, we've turned a really sort of positive corner in the film in terms of quantifying all the visual effects, and now we're in the sort of the absolute sort of final phase of it. Still quite a large one, but we're in the case of most of the effects now. We need to have people sort of here at Drift headquarters. You can push out so many visual effects to people from a distance, but then it comes to a point where it's about like colouring a picture, I suppose. So you colour in a picture and you say, right, I want that guy dressed in that coat to have a red coat, so they colour in a red coat, but then you want to get all the edges done really neatly, and perhaps you want a bit of shading on the coat to show depth or something. Those sort of things that require a lot more interaction with the artist who's colouring it in. So the same sort of thing here is that a lot of the artists that we've had who've done a fantastic job, the issue now is that one of sort of communication, regular communication. And bearing in mind that a lot of our artists are actually in different time zones around the world, that makes it more difficult too. It's not impossible, it just makes it more difficult. And in terms of time, that's the biggest factor, because even when you do engage and exchange thoughts and feedback, it can take perhaps 2 or 3 days before they get the message, you get the feedback, and then you agree on something, and eventually you get to a hangout, and even then they have to send something, and that takes time because they're 12 hours behind or 12 hours ahead or whatever. Whereas if you have someone sat here, then clearly you can resolve it within a couple of hours, and that's what we found. And we knew that anyway, even from our previous work. So the point is now that we're having to get to a point where there's so much of that to do. That's kind of the majority of the work, which is colouring in those fine edges and adding the shade and all the rest of it, that we need people here. So that's what we're doing now. So now we're reducing our visual effects team down to like a core group of 5 or 6 people who are coming up here, taking time out of their busy lives to come and support the film to finish it off. So in order to be ready for that, what I've been doing and will be doing over the next couple of weeks is on our spreadsheet of doom, which has all 1,290 visual effects. I'm going to be going through that and then basically allocating who's going to do what, and exactly on that spreadsheet what needs to be done on each of those shots. So the artist has no doubt as to what's going on. Now, it's arguable that you can say, well, why did you do that in the first place? Well, because as a very small team, I'm spreading myself very thinly. One minute I'm doing sound, next minute I'm doing score, then I'm doing edit, then I'm consulting on visual effects, then it's look and feel, then it's marketing, then it's twittering, it's all those things. And I have to sort of balance and juggle that. Again, getting people in to help with that is good, but it's not always productive. It depends again on that contact. So just as with visual effects, have that distance, it's the same with many other aspects of the production, and that's what makes this tough. But that's kind of really what this film has been about right from the beginning, because over the last sort of couple of weeks, watching the trailer, looking at the feedback, and being very critical of our own work, which I am. I've had a few people sort of watch the movie and I'm there going, oh, I don't know if that's good, or I don't know if I like that. I try and sort of remember, what we are, who we are, and where we fit in the food chain. And if you think about every aspect of this movie is effectively impossible as far as the big industry is concerned. We wrote the script, Sue wrote the script in about 3 months, whereas some of the best scriptwriters in the world take years. 8, 9 drafts. Toy Story took 3 years. Sixth Sense, I read something recently that even up to his 6th or 7th draft, he wasn't even happy before he was happy to give it to somebody else. It takes months, if not years, and we did it in 3 months. Not because we're better, but because that's all the time that we had. The set building, the area that we built was the size of a small dinner hall. Not huge, big, but not huge, and yet we created our entire universe within that space, and we had to move stuff around. The budget we had itself, of course, you know, £5,000 basically to build that entire universe. So, you know, the odds are against us and have been all the way, just like they are for every single zero-budget filmmaker. But the big thing, the big takeaway is you just don't stop making films. And we didn't stop. We didn't let those things stop us. Issues of shooting on DSLR, why don't you put your money into shoot on one red camera, why do you shoot lots of different cameras, why don't you stick to one? You know, all those conventions, that's all well and good. If you've got the time, the budget and the space. We had none of those things. But we didn't let it stop us making the film. So I think what I'm trying to say is that despite all those things, and despite knowing all those things, and even with the visual effects, Godzilla, nearly 1,000 artists, 700 artists to work on 1,000 shots, and we've got perhaps 10 artists working at any one time, part-time, you know, we're not letting it stop us make the film. And I think that's a really big takeaway. So all the people involved with this project, you know, who are now seeing the trailer and showing it to their friends should be really pleased with what they've achieved. We're not saying it's the best movie in the world, but it's certainly the best movie that we could have made. And I think I'm going to end it there.